Hey everybody, Matt Postier, Sickle Bike Shop. Today I want to talk through what the difference is between a cross-country bike compared to a mid-travel bike compared to a long-travel bike. We get a lot of customers coming in and they don't know exactly what they want. So I want to kind of try and go through like what they are and why you would ride that one and why you may want the different styles. So right here we've got the Kona Hei Hei. This is going to be considered more of the cross-country style. It's a little bit more pushing towards the mid-travel, but generally speaking, this is designed for the customer who's going to be riding a lot more flatter ground with some good hills, some good descents, but nothing crazy as far as like the really rocky, rugged descents. You certainly could do that on this bike, but it's not necessarily designed to say take to Spirit Mountain and ride lift service. So this customer is somebody that is going to be seated in a position with their hands lower than the rest of their body. So the biggest difference between the different travel sizes is physically where and how your body is positioned on the bike. So generally for the cross-country bikes, your hand position is going to be more further forward. A lot of times your handlebars are even over the center of the wheel, if not going towards the front of your wheel. So what that's going to allow for is, as soon as you come to that big hill, if you are in a lower riding position, you're much more powerful, and you're a lot easier. It's a lot easier to handle those long and hard ascents if you are physically lower over the front of your bike, because that's going to put your center of weight a little bit further forward. I'm going to grab another bike and we'll kind of show you the difference there. So on the opposite end of the spectrum is a bike like this. So this is a much longer travel. It's 160 travel in the front, 150 in the rear. This bike is really designed for the customer that just, their focus is going down. So going down fast, confidently and safely, this is what this bike is designed for. You'll notice that the handlebars have a very high rise to them. The stem is very short, and if this bike were on the ground, it's physically going to be at kind of an uphill angle. So the rider's body position is going to be much more upright. That's great for going down a hill. So if you're going down a steep hill and you're more upright, there's less that you have to kind of lean back to compensate for the fact that you're going down a hill. If you were to take a cross-country bike down a really steep hill, you have to adjust your body position back a lot more to make sure you don't go flipping over the front of the handlebars. The trade-off for a long travel bike like this is, as you're going up a hill, you really need to put a ton of your weight forward to make sure you're not going to be popping a wheelie and losing traction as you're going up the hill. So for most customers, we really want to select a bike based on where they're going to ride and what they want to do. This bike you can certainly make go up hills just fine. The other bike you can certainly make go down hills just fine. But if you know you're going to be spending a lot of time doing one or the other, as you go longer with the stem, higher with the bar, or shorter with the bar, stuff like that, it's going to negatively impact your downhill performance. And as you go higher with the bars, closer with the stem, it's going to negatively impact your uphill performance. So we really want to try and find a bike that can do exactly what you need to do. So that's where a mid-range bike, there are bikes that are right in the middle that are really well balanced both ways. And I'll grab one of those right now. So this bike right here is the very center of the line. So we have a 130 travel, and this is going to be just that really good balance between cross-country and downhill. So a bike like this is not going to be the best going up a hill. It's not going to be the best going downhill, but it does give you that really good blend right in the middle where it can do both things well. For a lot of customers that ride out here in the Cuyuna area, if you do enjoy those downhills, but you don't want to feel like you're absolutely suffering going up the hill, something like this might be a really good option for you. So that's just something to consider if you are looking at a new bike, or if you currently have a bike that you're just like, I don't know if this is a really great fit. How the bike is set up from the factory, or set up stock is really important to how it's going to ride for you, and just to figure out what you want to do with your bike. If you are looking at purchasing a new bike, we do definitely recommend buying a bike for the rider you want to be, not the rider you are today, because you could be in a year or two significantly more skilled. Hopefully you are. Hopefully you've put a lot of miles on it. And if you're like, hey, you know what, I really want to have a bike that's fast, racy, you might want to consider a cross-country bike, because that's going to allow you to excel in that sort of discipline. Or if you're like, hey, I want a bike that eventually I'm going to take to Spirit Mountain, or I'm going to go out west and ride a lot more downhill, we probably want to set you up with a bike that's got a little more travel that can handle that sort of thing when you get to that rider level. So things you want to consider on a bike. We'd love to chat with you about all the differences. We have a lot of different bikes and a lot of different travel ranges and styles that we can have you sit on, ride, and you can just feel the difference if you want. So thanks.